April 4th. And I'm going to call the meeting to order at 7 o'clock. To rise and pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, any announcements? Yeah. Do you have something? Let's approve the agenda first. Anything to add to it?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, under the town administrator's report, an item number 5, a reserve fund transfer in the amount of $42,404 for the building department.
42,000 what?
404 for the building department.
Okay.
Yes.
Motion to approve the agenda?
I make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Warrants I don't have, right?
Yeah, we need to see those.
For the next meeting.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's the error.
That's later.
Later, yeah.
Okay. All right. Public input? Anybody? Mary Spinner?
Just real quick.
We have the subject?
Yeah. It's town meeting.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right. I know you're looking at bylaws because you've mentioned them, the town administrator mentioned them. And when I was on a town government study committee many years ago, we talked about having town meeting on a Saturday. At the time, people said, no, we've always done it this way, which is, of course, my favorite statement anyway. I think it's time now because the demographics have changed. People that are going to town meeting are actually working way out of town, getting up early. If you look at town meeting now, at 9 o'clock at night, half the group has already left. So I think it's time we looked at a Saturday town meeting.
I agree with you.
I agree.
But
there's a lot of people that would like it.
I brought it up once at one of the meetings, and I get like booed off the stage with tomatoes.
Well, that had nothing to do with the
Oh,
question.
But I agree, it's something we should look into.
Yep, I agree.
Laurie?
Hi. We don't do a chair anymore?
I was just wondering, what happened to the chairs?
Sorry.
This
For you, we'll give you a chair. For Mary, we'll make her stand.
standing means it's quicker. I totally get that. Hi. Excellent. I am here to remind everybody who's watching and who's here live about this year's cleanup day, cleanup weekend. There's a few new things happening this year. One is that we are including the rail trail, the entire rail trail on the cleanup, and a few people have already signed up to do that area. And we also have received a contribution from Metrano. They're a waste hauler in Shirley. They're going to be leaving us a scrap metal container for the weekend, which was very generous of them, and a few of them might even come and help with the cleanup. So I want to encourage everybody to come. This is something that benefits everybody who lives here and everybody who works here, that we have a nice looking town. There's never a lack of styrofoam cups and nip bottles to clean up, but I've been told that we are not the only town in Massachusetts that has those problems. So I do hope that I will see town officials of all shapes and sizes and ranks there on either Saturday or Sunday, April 29th and 30th. 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Depot Square is the place to meet and get your supplies and your quote-unquote assignment for where you'd like to clean up.
Okay.
And since you mentioned it, Janice, I hope that, everyone in town who has an address is receiving our fabulous glossy, full-color recycling postcard that we received a grant from Mass DEP to have done, have designed and printed and mailed. And it has a lot of information about what is recyclable, about some of our initiatives that are going on, including the upcoming pilot project for food waste that we're going to be kicking off at the cleanup day. So I hope that people will take a look at this postcard, not throw it away. If they're going to dispose of it, recycle it, of course, rather than putting it in the trash. Questions? Great, thanks.
Thank you.
Sorry about that.
Thanks for dropping the camera.
This way.
Okay. At home rule petition request?
I don't know who said it. Obviously, Carly's not here tonight. She would have said it.
I was going to get the
So
paddock.
we'll blame him.
Okay. What,
So, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, as you have in your packet, Mr. Gendron, who is the owner of the vineyard, submitted a letter to the Board of Selectmen on March 28th in your packet, respectfully requesting all alcohol retail license through the home rule petition process. So obviously Mr. Gendron is here before the board seeking the board's consideration on that matter.
when did this come in front of town meeting?
It was the fall-
September.
Yeah, but the last fall town meeting.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And,
Yeah, it was the month before the town meeting. Yeah, I think the town meeting was October 26th.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I think I was here the 15th of September.
yeah.
yeah. No, I was just curious when it came in front of the town. It was the
It
last,
was
it was
just
the
the
fall,
last
fall
one,
town.
yeah,
meeting.
fall town meeting.
And it was declined by
Well,
the town.
I was never voted on. You were trying to get a license for the town and not specifically for me, and then making a decision after who would get that license. And then at the town meeting, basically what happened, somebody amended the article, and then they wanted 2 licenses, and then the change of events just changed, and it didn't really happen the way I think that you wanted it to happen, and then it got voted on and it was denied on getting 2 licenses for the town. So I personally was never voted on at all.
Correct, because because the Shop and Save had also
Right.
put in one.
Yeah, I put
They
in one
and
5
then
years
you
ago,
put it- Right, and then
Shop and
fast
Save
forward
did.
last year,
Yeah,
Shop
and
and
then-
Save came by.
and then I came by.
And then you came in, and so it had to be, so then it was like, the 2 of you were looking for licenses, and that's kind of why it
At
got
that
amended.
particular,
Yeah, so that's
yeah.
why it got amended. at
yeah,
town
it kind of
meeting.
got amended at the meeting.
Right,
And then at the meeting, it looked like, you guys didn't want the 2 licenses, but you were okay with 1.
That's the debate. I am never, and I've been going back 5 years, I have never been in favor of another license because we're 1 over our cap already. It just so happened that night that we voted, Selectman Hillman said, I think we should put this in front of the town. And as we usually do, we support the motion that's made, the 3 of us. We don't go off on our own, and, so you're partially right. Again, I don't believe this town needs another one. Town meeting spoke the same way, so, that's my feeling, but, to be honest,
But what's been happening at the store, I've been there for 14 years, and everybody thinks when they stop by on a travel route, they think that I carry alcohol. So they're always asking for alcohol. So every week, somebody's asking for alcohol. Because it's a travel route into towns in Pepperell, Lunenburg, and coming off 495 and so on and so forth.
well, people don't understand because you sell wine,
Right,
that
exactly.
you're not gonna have
Exactly,
alcohol,
yeah, they don't-
because
they don't
wine's
understand.
alcohol, but then
Yeah.
it's like separate, and it gets a little confusing.
Right, exactly. And so we get many, many calls for it, and people keep on asking, even what happened at the town meeting last time because they didn't understand it because it was very confusing of how everything, filtered down the road. I have 40 years experience in the business. I owned a full liquor license before this. I was a salesman. Employees are very well trained, and we do a good job at what we do. We're also competitive in pricing.
Yeah, we don't doubt that. I mean,
Yeah.
we've never heard anything bad about it.
No,
My wife goes over there occasionally,
yeah.
buy cider. Not really.
Yeah, and then also what we plan on. We also plan on carrying. We do a large microbrew business, okay, and it's like handcrafted beers, like from all over. And what we plan on doing is to follow through. We like to put in handcrafted, like from Vermont, New Hampshire, vodkas, whiskeys, rums, and things of that nature. And so to keep the handcrafted theme going. And people travel from all over. We have some people that travel from Waltham to get beers at our place because we do, we're a drummer of a different beat. We're just not your everyday package straw.
Still river growing. Robert, did you have something?
No.
Oh, I thought you did. So.
Well, I mean, part of the problem is that, like you said, we're one over.
Mm-hmm.
And it got a little bit confusing for some people at town meeting, but it's kind of sounded like town meeting didn't want to have any more. I mean, so even if we go ahead with this, you've still got to ask town meeting.
Exactly. And what happened at the town meeting, if you noticed that the vote for the amendment went through, and then after that, it lost by 3. And it was all hand counts, people all over the place. And I'm not saying that it wasn't a correct count, but it could have happened. You don't know. It wasn't a ballot vote. And it seemed like the people were willing to, people keep on asking me for it, and that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
And then also, the board voted on Shop and Save at one time to go to the town meeting, and then I came forward. So I'm just asking for the chance to go in front of the town meeting for me, my reputation, and let the town decide.
Yeah, your reputation's good and you have a lot of support, but for me, it's just adding another license that we're one over already. So I just, and like I said, I've been consistent with this for 10 years, and I just can't change unless we get 10,000 more people in town, and we're looking at. No, I know we can't fit them, but I just, I'm sorry, Jeff, but as far as I'm concerned, I mean, Janice may feel differently, but.
I have no problem with the town voting on it. I do. Yeah, I am getting a little concerned because it does keep coming up, and we are one over.
And also, what happened to the business too is that when National Grid came in and put in the gas main, I lost over $50,000. During that time, because I lost all the business, they blocked off the parking lot. People couldn't get in for the day, and then right after that, a beer and wine license goes up next to me, which ends up being a Shop and Save. So I got hit with a double whammy. So it was, I really need the help.
I don't have a problem with it going in front of the town, letting them decide. Because it is kind of a catch-22. I understand what you're saying, and I agree with what you're saying, but at the same time, the town will get upset if we don't let them make the decision, so it's like...
So, is that a motion to put it on?
I make a motion that the board allow to be put on the warrant for town meeting, the home rule petition as submitted in the packet.
I'll second, only for discussion, that I'm afraid the same thing will probably happen at town meeting, or it'll be increased to 2, and we're already 1 over the cap. I just can't see it going to town meeting. So
It does run the risk of having them amend it again and adding another one. So you are running the risk. That if the same
Well, I-
thing's gonna happen.
I
again.
understand that, but I'm willing, they just like to move forward and let the town decide. I don't think that anybody really thought what happened at the last town meeting was gonna happen. As far as it getting amended and then 2 licenses and then, but it never got voted on that for 1 license because it got amended. So that's basically where I'm here for, is see what happens with the town.
Well, call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
And I'm opposed. I don't want to see that go forward. So, 1-1.
Unfortunately, Mr. Hillman's not here tonight. We're at a status quo.
So,
Can't put it on. Hey, Chief Pedrazi, you're welcome.
Am I too late for public input, Gary?
Yeah. What do you need, Jim?
Well, I just want truly 2 minutes is all I need.
Okay.
Planning board, if you don't mind, Chief. This Thursday, my board meets, as you know, and I'll be discussing it further, but previously the comment came to the board that there was a feeling among some that the planning board was silent on the matter of marijuana law and bylaw and so forth. The fact is, when we received your letter, we did immediately put that on our agenda, and it's been on the agenda for the last 2 or 3 months. So I'm here to request, actually, and I know this is in conjunction with what Robert has already done, but I would like my members who I put forward to this, Jeff Tillotson and Sue Kennedy, some time on your agenda at your convenience to brief you on what they found so far.
Okay.
And of course, that'll be put all in the mix with what, I know a meeting was held today, which I attended, on the matter, and all of that will be put in the pot and brought forward. But I do want the public to know that the planning board is on top of this in terms of our research as to what to do, and because it'll be going through you, that we want to bring you at least what we found so far,
You want to check
where we're going.
next meeting?
Well, it's up to you, it's up to Robert,
See
but
what the
I have,
agenda's like.
short of having a joint meeting,
Yeah.
I don't think a joint meeting is necessary until we're going to decide and actually vote on something.
Okay.
But I could certainly send 2 members, because they've done some due diligence on this subject and want you to be apprised of it.
Oh, yeah, we'd obviously like the input.
Say again?
We'd obviously like the input.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, Jim. Have a good night. Mr. Fireman.
Hi, Chief. Haven't seen you in a long time.
I know it. Kind of miss you.
I know. I was thinking about today. Where's the chief?
I'm right, yeah.
The good news is we haven't heard any bad news about it.
No news is good news.
That's right.
So I have a paramedic intercept agreement with the town of Shirley, and I just want to say, this is not a new agreement. It's the same one we've had for a number of years, but they changed the ambulance went, it's a little confusing, the ambulance went from the town to the fire department, so they had to change the name on their license.
Really?
So it's really just a name change on the agreement.
Okay.
But all these things get looked at by Medicare, so
Right.
everything's got to be
Right.
right in line.
So it doesn't have to be renewed or anything, it's just a name change.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
it's just a name change. Well, it's gonna go forward from now. I mean, it's a 1 year,
Right.
and then it renews every year
Right.
unless there's a notification. So it's just, it's signature by the chair, and it's on the last page.
Do you need a motion or anything?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I make a motion that the agreement for the paramedic intercept services be approved and signed by the chair.
Second? Any more discussion? Question? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Sounds good. Yeah, this now if you want.
I do.
Thanks, Chief.
Feel free to stop by more often.
I'm sure it will be soon with the budget coming up.
The taste of the shoulder was wonderful, though.
It was very good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Okay. Moving right along. Alan? Come on down. How are you tonight?
With me and you
Why don't you come up if you'd like, and then so we can segue quickly.
You just said you got 5 minutes.
You better get going, Alan.
It's a 5-minute challenge. Go ahead, you're up.
Our backs are to the clock. That's going to make it hard. One more forward, Robert, please.
We'll actually do the fire stations.
Yep.
I'll do fire station first.
Oh, okay.
You,
See?
okay.
We just blew 15 seconds. Okay.
Of the fire station time.
Okay. For the record, Alan Minoyan, Director of Community and Economic Development, and over here the item today is the redevelopment, the disposition actually of the historic 1934 Central Air Fire Station. And we reissued the RFP in February, and we were most fortunate that we actually received 3 proposals, and technically we would have gotten a 4th, but the 4th person made a mistake, an error, and missed the deadline. They're very disappointed. But this is all very good. It really demonstrates there's increasing market. All right, see, I'm already Janice right doing my, all right.
You're good.
I'm interested. Go ahead.
All right. The 3 proposals, and I will say, all 3 individuals that submitted proposals, and I had the opportunity to meet with them, tour the building, and spend time, all of their proposals were absolutely, outstanding, very creative in their thoughts of how it could be redeveloped. So I commend all 3 of them, and this is one of these tough situations when we have to select one. But I'll say all 3 of them are pretty much local folks, all just really thoughtful in what they did, and any of them would have done an excellent job with it. So I just want to say that up front. But in the end, we must go forward with one. So the 3 submissions that we got. Scott Patterson, Northeast Baseball, and the bid there was $60,000 for acquisition. The second was Conrad and Kelsey Donnell of C. Donnell Homes Incorporated. The bid there was $50,000. And then Timothy Sheridan Jr. of Littleton, and his bid was $30,000. Now, it's not just the price, of course, it's really, the quality of the development proposal, if it meets, frankly, our needs for the future of the redevelopment of that station. We had 10 criteria that was in the RFP that we were going to score based on, and a scoring, from 1 to 5. And I want to commend Jim Fay, who's the chairman of our planning board, and also was very involved, might have been the chairman back in the day of the Fire Station Reuse Committee. And also Barry Schwartzel, who is on our Historic Commission and on our Community Preservation Commission. So they did an excellent job with myself being the review and scoring group. So the scoring went well in the process, and when all was said and done, the proposal submitted by Conrad and Kelsey Donnell of C. Donnell Homes Incorporated scored the highest. Okay? And again, the other 2, were excellent in what they did, but our review committee and group are making a favorable recommendation to the board that we do proceed with getting into negotiations and contractual agreements with C. Donnell Homes Incorporated.
What's going to be the disposition? How's it going to be re?
Their concept for redevelopment is to go completely residential redevelopment. So you'll see between, 6 and even perhaps up to 8, it depends on configuration, of really high quality residential units. The bays will be kept and retained and used completely, and really who they're going after is a lifestyle product. And this is why they really they hit it. They understood what we're trying to do. Really geared towards young professionals in our community that are probably working in Boston, and all connected to the lifestyle of our commuter rail station. So this is really what they want to position the whole lifestyle product for. That is just going to contribute amazing vitality to the downtown, having all those young people living here, hanging out here. And again, all of them, we were absolutely, one of the primary conditions of the proposals are the original 1934 building must be absolutely preserved and restored. And this means the cupola, the slate roof, all of it, and they are doing all of that. They actually, all of the parties involved said the value we see is in the historic property. So all in all, we think we really, we feel very fortunate in the way this went, and we think, we don't think, we believe
that this heritage property, see, Robert, I'm gone. I blew my 5 minutes because the heritage property, this is going to be catalytic for our downtown development. It's going to really supercharge market confidence. It's going to be an extremely high-profile project as it's happening, and we're sure we're going to have feature articles in the Boston Globe, and we think this is going to trigger a lot of more development. And I even know the other individuals, and I'll just cite, frankly, Tim Sheridan Jr., who frankly made the most powerful impression on me of his vision and his future vision for the property, for the downtown, and we sincerely hope that young, extremely talented, dedicated people like Tim Sheridan Jr. are going to continue to look at our downtown and say, I see other wonderful opportunities to go forward. So all in all, we're very pleased, and we think we hit the mark. And the building will live, it will outlive all of us, and we know it's very close to being demolished potentially. So it looks like together, all of us as a team, we accomplished our task.
Any questions?
I just love the way you talk about that.
Well, it must have really blew you away if it's 10 grand less than the other, than the top one.
Yes, and it really was. And the other part of that is, and I'll say, the Donnell Homes approach, it's going to happen. They're going to get in and do the entire building as one compass, unified project quickly, and this is really important. The others, we're going to work on it sort of through time, but it's going to be important. We really believe that someone that has the means and wherewithal and the background and expertise to carry through and really have the whole project done in a timely fashion, quickly, and as one unified thing, all done, all completed. It's very, very important for market confidence in downtown, seeing it delivered that well. And not sort of dragging out, 2 or 3 years and sort of,
Absolutely.
So we're very, downtown Ayer is strong.
Okay.
All right. I make a motion that the Board of Selectmen approve the Alan Minoyan to go into negotiations and contract agreement with Conrad and Kelsey Donnell, C. Donnell Homes Incorporated, as outlined in the packet, in the amount of $50,000.
Second. Any more discussion? No? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. It'll be a joy to deliver this project.
Yeah.
This
Okay.
town.
It's going to be exciting.
It is. It's really important. It's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for having faith in us and letting us carry through last year, because we tried in the fall, it didn't click. So I thank you all for saying, Alan, give it another go.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Oh, good.
So thank you.
Okay.
You haven't even been with us a year yet, have you?
Close. One more month. I'll be here a year.
It's amazing.
Okay. I'm shutting you off.
Yep, that's it.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
It gives me great pleasure to welcome Ms. Courtney Starling, planner and consultant from Community Opportunities Group, who was selected by the town of Ayer to work with the Ayer Master Plan Committee. And the purpose for tonight was to have Ms. Starling and Mr. Minoyan give a brief update to the Board of Selectmen and the town on the master plan process that's about at the halfway point in the process, and to answer any questions that the board may have.
Okay. All yours.
Okay, so one of the things I'd like to point out just to start with is that we do have a master plan logo now, which was designed with help from the technical high school. So this is some of our local students who have helped put together the logo for the plan. Just very quickly, those students are named C.J. Gervais, Charlotte Dufresne, Hayden McCarthy, and Terrence Siegel. And so I just wanted to make sure that we give the students who've worked on this project thus far credit for their work. We're very excited to now have a icon to go with the plan, so as we continue doing public outreach, there's a recognizable identifier that goes with it. When we started, thank you. Oh, hang on. When you guys got started, which is at this point about 2 years ago, maybe two and some change, the Master Plan Steering Committee was formed, so I wanted to make sure that we highlight the folks who have been working on this project since the beginning and long before I came on board as well. So when I first came on, Robert, if you could advance. I'm sticking to 5 minutes, I'm doing it.
'Cause I blew it.
I didn't set the agenda.
I'm doing it.
It's 5 minutes to buy.
That'll never work. One of the things that we started with right off the bat was identifying a vision statement, the sort of thing that would tie together the entire plan. Because there, as selectmen, I suspect you are aware that consensus is sometimes not the easiest thing to achieve. And so we wanted to start with a fairly broad goal of what it was that we were trying to do here and how we wanted to frame our strategies moving forward. And so the vision
Just make sure you
statement.
capitalize Ayer next time.
Are you kidding me? You see, Alan corrected the slide. It was all caps, and he said it was shouting at him. And so when I went to go change it, apparently I lost an error. This is Alan's fault. I'm just blaming that one right away. So we did develop the vision statement, and this is really the thing that unifies the plan. Robert, go ahead. As we got started as well, we identified a process to follow. Because it is getting a master plan done is kind of a lengthy process. Usually it's about 18 months to 2 years. We wanted to be able to kind of break up the work a little bit, take some of have the steering committee not necessarily be responsible for everything. And also we wanted to make sure that we got focus groups together of people who have a working or professional knowledge of each of the topic areas so that from there we could start getting a good idea of what was going on to augment some of the public process with the interviews and the other focus groups that we do with that, but also to get some background so that when we do move forward with developing strategies that we have picked the right priorities and that we are building a strategy that makes sense. So right now we're in phase 2. We just kicked off transportation and circulation last week. We're going to have our second meeting next week. So that is rolling forward, and we are also getting municipal services, facilities, and governance up and running. When we complete this phase, we will move into reconvening the Master Plan Steering Committee as the actual group to deal with the land use and Devon's elements of the master plan. Go ahead, Robert. One of the biggest components of our plan, of course, is public outreach. I suspect you're also aware not everybody wants to come to a meeting on a cold Tuesday night. And so we've been working very hard to come up with creative strategies to get the participation of people who don't necessarily show up all of the time. So right now, if you do visit the master plan website on the town's website, there is a feedback button for anybody who has anything they'd like to say about the master plan in general. That's been up and running for about 6 months and continues to be. So members of the public and the viewing audience, if you have anything to say, feel free to visit the website. Prior to me coming on board, there was the promotional video that was developed, and the master plan committee did conduct a survey. We did a public kickoff workshop in April. Alan has been doing his walking tours. They've gone on hiatus with the winter, but they are starting back up. I believe May 13th is the first. Again, public, if you're interested, May 13th. Alan's doing a walking tour. We have moved through the housing and economic development working groups and done the interviews in accordance with those. Alan held an all board and commission invitational back in February. That was
25th.
January 25th. That was fantastic. We had the high school drama club come and do dramatic readings of master plan excerpts from 1966 forward. It was a great event for those of you who did not see it. I believe it was filmed though, so you might have a chance to see it if you are so inclined. Our upcoming outreach is we have developed a survey for business owners. There's a few issues that we want to get very specific feedback on. We are about to launch the restaurant coaster feedback campaign, which sounds a little odd, but we're going to put branded coasters in any restaurant who will agree to participate, where one side of the poster is the master plan logo and website, and the other side is a question about, what do you want to see in Ayer, or what's important to you about Ayer, but a mix of questions, and have those served with drinks in the restaurants that people can fill out and drop off. Again, as a way to kind of get some of the non-standard. We're very excited. Also upcoming in May, on Saturday, May 20th, we will be doing the slow roll bike and hike, which is currently being the planning is currently being done by Jeff Tillotson from the planning board. We are anticipating that we'll do a 5-mile ride with a bailout at the 3-mile point, but an event that's open to all members of the public to look at both the streets and especially streets as complete streets, so not just for use for automobiles, but also how cyclists and pedestrians may use it. While also hitting some key sites in Ayer, and so we're going to see some of the picturesque sites. We're going to visit downtown, and so we have a number of things planned for that. That's going to be very exciting. We'll start the promotion for that as soon as we have a time picked out. But it will be Saturday, May 20th. We have been doing the master plan steering committees within the neighborhoods. We anticipate that we'll continue doing that and and meet with some of the specific neighborhood associations for their feedback. And we are hoping to do an event with some of the students at the elementary school about what they want Ayer to be like when they grow up. So we're trying to hit multiple groups of the public. Again, not necessarily just your usual suspects, but all stakeholders involved in the future of Ayer. And so going from there, what we hope to do is we're working forward with our working groups and the workshops and the washing tours. There's glare. The walking tours. We'll get since this plan is intended to be very heavy on the strategy as opposed to pages upon pages of data and narrative that read like a dissertation. We're hoping to develop a plan that's really more of a plan that can be implemented, something that is practical, something that is feasible, something that that has funding sources in place and ideas of how this is going to move forward with very linear steps. So that is our focus, and that is going to be the outcome after the working group, so that we can start taking that out to the public. From there, there'll be the draft plan will be developed. There'll be a public comment period. There'll be the final plan. And then we are hoping for adoption of both the Board of Selectmen and the Planning Board. Per state law, the Planning Board is the only board that needs to adopt, but as this is a guiding policy document, it would be very, very good if if we could have buy-in at all levels. And so we'll be seeing you again periodically as we have, as more of the strategy comes together for your folks' buy-in. And then from there, so we will have a final plan. Like I said, we are not necessarily looking to do the standard plan, but we're hoping to do something that is much more graphic, something that does not go to die on the bookshelf. That's actually one of our bookshelves. The silliest thing was I was Googling for dusty bookshelf images and then realized, oh my gosh, I have like 12 of those. So I am hoping to avoid the plan graveyard and actually give you guys a plan that you will take off the shelf, that will grow with you, that will stay current. And that you will be able to continue to use. And so we'd like to organize it into the main themes that we talked about in the vision, and again, produce a plan that is mostly graphic in nature. I'm really kind of hoping that it will actually be something that people will enjoy reading and won't have to read out loud to stay awake. I've written that plan, and I'm sorry to the people. I'm sorry.
I read the current one, and by page 69, I was in tears.
I take it about 3 pages at a time before
and I was really surprised I got that far before I started crying.
Yes. So what we're hoping is to kind of make a departure from that. I don't want it just to be data narrative. I want it to be a plan that is actually a plan, a strategy, a strategic plan, and have the data that we present tie into the different policy decisions as to why they make sense.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, if you get in everything that needs to be in it and somehow write it so that it sounds like his voice, you're going to have gold.
We're going to do a mind meld.
Let's do an audio plan.
That would be better.
That would be so cool.
We could do a soundbite plan in like 30 seconds and put it on YouTube. Somebody would actually see it.
You capture the energy of how he talks about things and get that into that plan. Guarantee people will read it all.
We hope that it drips with enthusiasm and hope.
See, the main thing though is and you're right. That most of these master plans they're so thoroughly and massively done. Even those professional planners, you're right. You got how many pages you got into it?
I got to page 69.
That's amazing because usually by page 8, I'm totally. And the thing with this one is, let's be realistic. What we have the capacity to do. Let's not lay out everything under God's creation. No, we're never going to be able to do. We don't have the capacity, the finances to. Let's get down to the basics we need to do and say, look back in 5 and say, wow, we accomplished these things, and then move on.
Is that the way you've been going at it?
That's
because it has to
reality.
Be realistic. It can't
reality.
Be,
that is
you got a thankless job. No, really, because there's going to be people that don't like part of it. And,
there always is. That's part of the gig. It's also part of why we run a strong public participation process to ensure that while there are always voices that disagree, that we are presenting the most representative version.
Right. Have the meetings been interactive enough?
they have actually, the meetings and the work groups have been, I mean, fantastic. Really, people are super engaged, more than I've seen in my career in many places.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to do a plan just to do a plan. I mean,
Thank you.
we want to
That's
have a
right.
vision behind it, so.
Well, I mean,
That's
it's always good to have a plan because there are certain grant funds that are tied to it, but to have a plan that actually has a purpose and doesn't end
Yes.
up in our sketchy bookshelf of doom, I think is, you have put a fair amount of money into this, and I think that it is our job to respect all the taxpayers of Ayer and give them something that they can use.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
I have one
We'll
quick
be
thing that I
seeing
wasn't
again
planning
soon.
on doing, but I
Oh.
think you just find it of interest, that's off all these topics. Next week in downtown Ayer, we've been approached, there's going to be an independent film that is going to be filming in downtown Ayer. We've been working with these folks the last few days, so this will be very interesting, and it's an independent film. It's actually going to be probably shown on Lifetime on cable, and it's the title of the movie, well, I'm sorry, is The Spruces and the Pines, and it's a Christmas story. And they'll be filming in April.
It's a Lifetime movie of the week Christmas story. Oh, this is gold.
It's going to be
This is gold.
And they're
It
filming
is.
it in downtown Ayer at Union Coffee on our sidewalks in front of the Page Block and also at Peroni Park. And this is happening next week. So this is going to be an interesting
Do they
thing.
need extras?
They may.
You probably watch
We
Hallmark,
could be
too.
strategically just walking by.
I like to watch them like Mr. Science
Wear your
Theater
Christmas
3000
sweater.
comments.
Remember that famous Christmas sweater you have? You'll be in.
Something I do with my dad.
Well,
It's fun.
it's cold enough that I could wear the Christmas sweater.
Okay.
All right, so we'll
Thank
be
you.
just strategically walking up and down Main Street.
That's
With your Christmas sweater.
My Christmas sweater. Until it'll be 70 degrees.
Karen needs to be in it.
Thanks, folks.
Did you tell them?
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
And Susan.
Lisa and Susan?
Yeah.
It just says Lisa here.
Dive in.
Oh, no, it
duo.
says Susan, too.
Okay.
Thank God Susan's here. How are you, Mrs. Copeland?
I'm doing well, just covering another Board of Registrars final night of voter registration for the big town election and town meeting coming up. Don't miss out. You can do it online until midnight, so
Wow.
register to vote. That's right.
All right.
So, I think we could do this first part in 5 minutes, no problem. It won't take 10 minutes. So, you know that we've been, I think you're aware, at least Gary, that I've been tracking some spending on some old bond issues to the point where so that we were able to refund once we spent all the money from, this is a 2002 bond issue and a 2004 bond issue. And the 2002 bond issue had an interest rate of around 5%. And the 2004 one is 7.3%. So we're looking to refinance, or what they call in the municipal world, refund those bonds, and basically at a much lower interest rate. So it'll be, they're estimating now about 2.5%.
How much savings is that?
It's going to be about $383,000 savings right now. Granted, the interest rates move, but 200 of that is on debt exclusions, so it will impact the taxpayer favorably. In my mind, this is a no-brainer. But as part of the refunding, what they'd like the Board of Selectmen to do is take a preliminary vote to allow Susan to do the refunding. So it's just so that you're aware of it, and it will go on, but you'll also have to take a final vote once, it's finalized. Right now, it's being a little bit held up by bond counsel because of the solar lease contract we may be negotiating.
Okay. So you need a motion
To vote, they have wording.
Yes, please.
Do you- Okay.
Yeah, they should have. You have a copy, right, Janice?
Okay.
Okay, so I make a motion that the Board of Selectmen authorize the reissuance of refunding bonds, that in order to save interest costs, the treasurer is authorized to provide for the sale and issuance of bonds under General Law, Chapter 44, Section 21A, to refund all or any portion of the remaining principal of the redemption premium and interest on the town's general obligation bonds dated April 1, 2002 and June 15, 2004, and that for this purpose, the treasurer is authorized to provide for the preparation and distribution of a preliminary official statement Provided, however, that no bonds shall be issued under this vote unless and until the final interest rates and the other terms of the refunding bonds are approved by the board.
Can you repeat that? I didn't.
Thank God that was written down.
Second. Any more discussion? It's great work.
Yeah, it's great.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll be back.
No, I'm all set.
You're all set with me? All right, I'll be back.
Thanks, sir.
Thanks.
Okay.
Oh, so we have to open the public hearing.
Yeah, do you have to open it?
I make a motion that we open the public hearing for the FY 2018 water and sewer rate.
Second, we don't have a, no.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
All right.
I'm gonna hit the
Chairman,
buttons.
members of the board, the FY 2018 water and sewer rate public hearing through the chair, Ms. Cabri and Mr. Wetzel will make a brief presentation that was put together and approved by the rate review committee. Before they do, I just wanted to publicly recognize the rate committee members that put a lot of work in on this process. As the board's aware, the committee meets quarterly or as needed, but a minimum of quarterly, to not only look at the water and sewer rates, but to review them and also look at other policies and recommendations to you as the water and sewer commissioners. So thanks to our rate committee members, Selectman Janice Livingston as the chair of the committee, Miss Mary Spinner, citizen rep, Mr. Rick Scotchless, citizen rep, Mr. Neil Middleton, a business representative from our SIU from Nasoya, Mr. Mark Wetzel, our DPW superintendent, Ms. Pam Martin, the DPW business manager, Ms. Lisa Gabri, the finance manager, and I also sit with the group. So a special thanks to everybody that put in a lot of work this year as well as previous years. So with that, I'll let these two folks, Mr. Chairman, make the presentation and the two recommendations for the board's consideration.
Okay. It's probably mostly going to be me, but
It is.
I will need Mark for one of the slides at least. So our overall goal, as it has been forever, is to set rates to recover our costs and avoid significant fluctuations in the rates. And the criteria that we use is we project expenses. We actually have like a formal forecast in the model that projects expenses, including future capital needs, in order to avoid the spikes. And to continue to build a stabilization reserve in each of the funds for future capital needs, but also for in the event of any kind of emergency, basically. So, Mark, you might want to talk about the first one, actually. Points of the discussion for 2018.
Right. So over the last 2 years, we've appropriated money. First was to do an overall evaluation of our wastewater treatment plant. It was built in the early 80s. It's had additions to it, but it hasn't had any upgrades. It's got a lot of mechanical equipment, a lot of process pumps, blowers, drives, just a lot of equipment that we kind of keep fixing, but it really was getting a little tired. There were a lot of health violations, safety violations. Just in general, it was getting to be a tired building that needed some upgrades. So we had an evaluation. We hired a company called CDM Smith, which is probably one of the premier water and wastewater treatment engineers in the country, and the ones that originally designed the plant. And they brought in a really good team. I think there was probably 12 people that went through the plant and came up with a list of capital improvements, which totaled about $10 million. And we one of the recommendations pertained to our new our EPA discharge permit. So they just completed another study. We actually just submitted it to the EPA on Friday to look at how we could or couldn't meet our permit requirements. And actually, there was a really top-notch job, and it looks like we're going to dodge a big bullet based on the work. We did some sampling in the Nashua River where we discharged to, and determined that the limits that the EPA set can be modified. So that's the next step, is to negotiate with the EPA to modify those. But that's would dodge a pretty big bullet. But we still have a lot of things we need to do down there. We have stuff that fails on a fairly regular basis, and kind of keep putting it together. So the guys down there do a really good job, but we've also made a lot of improvements in the operation, and they run more efficiently. And so we will have a capital article this year to fund some significant improvements over this initial capital budget will be about a 3 or 4 year project, looking at the real critical things. I'm working on looking at a new water conservation regulation. You know, obviously last summer was a little, yeah. I mean, we were fine, but there were days that, you know, I'd call Rick Lindy, the water foreman, at 6 in the morning and go, "What's it look like today?" We're pretty close to. We could add a significant problem if we lost a well, and actually we did once once we put the water ban in place. We did lose a well, and it took about 2 weeks to get it back in service. So we have some plans to deal with that, and I'll bring that to your next meeting as recommendations for changing our water conservation plan, as well as looking at having a water conservation rate for outdoor users.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me just, before I forget this, I'm going to ask you, Brothers Ring, does this help? It does. It's interesting because the town of Littleton sends us, they keep track of precipitation and average precipitation, and we're still behind. The 3 months so far this year have been behind about an inch or so each month. So we're still a little behind. I think we're starting okay with April, and we finished March okay. I think what will recommend to the board is that we lift the outdoor ban, but in addition to having a regular conservation program with no outside use during certain hours, we go to an odd even also. Because I think if people can use their water every other day, and their lawns will still get healthy. Right. It spreads it out a little bit more. So I think that's what my recommendation will be, is to lift the total ban but have tighter restrictions in place.
Like an odd even, but during the hours of like 5 to 7 p.m. or something?
It'll still be that you can't water, no one can water between 9 and 5, and the even houses do it on even days and the odd houses on odd days. And then if we do find we're having a problem, we'll have to go back to an outdoor ban. One of the other things that is in the capital plan, and hopefully it'll get approved at town meeting, is to have a better interconnection with the Devon system, so that if we do have an emergency, they've got a good supply over there, and their pressure gradient's the same as ours. So that would be a good emergency supply.
And this slide is, I believe it was the last year's annual town meeting, there was a citizens petition looking for some kind of citizen discount program. So during this past fiscal year, I would say mostly Mark and Pam worked on, the committee did review though, but worked to come up with a plan with guidelines. And this is a summary, so I don't know if you want to talk about this too, Mark.
Yeah, I think we had a set application period. What we may want to do this year, and we'll talk about it as a rate committee meeting and present to the board, but maybe extend that a little bit longer period. We had a number of people that said they hadn't heard about it, and then also maybe tweak some of the conditions. We don't have a huge participation. I can't remember the exact numbers, but there are people participating, and I'm sure it's as significant to some people.
So, that's it.
Ready next?
And again, so on to the fun stuff. This is expenses, sewer expenses. I'm starting with sewer first. This budget for these expenses increased about $133,000. Mostly, there was about a $16,000 increase in wages that was negotiated through, contractual reasons. A decrease in utilities, an offset increase in repairs and maintenance. So the savings in utilities about 20 grand, and an offset increase in repairs and maintenance of about 20 grand. Increase in sludge removal costs of about 20 grand, and also there was an increase in debt of about 131,000 due to some of the projects that we've been doing here, like the East Main Street sewer mains, or West Main Street pump station, and various equipment and other sewer projects. So that, in a nutshell, is other sewer. And then expenses, and then we look at miscellaneous revenues just because we offset that to get down to what we need that's required from rates. So you'll see here that state grants can vary, and they're usually specific for a certain reason, so they're not used to supplant your regular operating budget, but is normally some kind of add-on to it, so I don't know of any, so we don't project them, but you see in FY16 we had $37,000 of grants, and we could get some this year, we don't know. But like I said, there's usually an offset increased expense that follows the grant revenue. Permits and fees and miscellaneous revenues, these are all fairly consistent from year to year. And miscellaneous in FY16, I believe, includes some borrow premium. So we can't, we don't know what that will be. So when we're budgeting, we don't, we try to be somewhat conservative. And then the transfer from the general fund, this was before the enterprise was established. There was a debt exclusion that related to the sewer enterprise fund. So it's slowly being paid off, but it still exists, and that's what the 22 grand is.
One thing I'll mention on the permits and fees, as you may remember last year, we increased the connection fee, and we haven't gotten the actual applications yet, but there's a number of new units that are going in that they've submitted plans to say, can we connect this way and that way, and it's the connection fee is $4,800 per 3-bedroom house, and I know there's one that was just submitted that was for 4-bedroom houses, so there'd be a significant fee increase in some of those, so that's a number once we start getting a better handle on what the development is.
And I don't base these estimates just on the past year's actuals. I look at a series of years and take some kind of average.
Next.
Yep. So this is my little summary sheet where it shows the total expenses, less those miscellaneous revenues that we just talked about. And so that line in blue, net required from rates. This is what we're projecting we need from rates. Now, if you take a look at the what we thought we needed from rates FY16 and what we actually raised, this is why we, during this past year, Mark contracted, I forget the name of the group, I just know David Fox, who was affiliated with Chris Woodcock.
Raftellus consultants who are water and sewer rate experts.
So we contracted them to review the consumption for both water and sewer, because in the past couple of years we've had installation of new meters which typically read more accurately, and because of that we're seeing increased flows, but they weren't indicated it's been some time since we updated the consumption. So we did that, and we're finding out that the revenues, because we were looking at the numbers, and I think even you, Janice, asked, why is it so much more than what we predicted? And so we went through and we had him update the model, but also look at the consumption and update the consumption with Pam. So this should be reflected going forward. So as we go, I just wanted to make one more. The next slide has to do with capital, and not that I always throw this in, but these are the capital requests of the superintendent. Well, I would say the capital planning committee and the rate committee reviewed and vetted. And this was the bottom line. And as Mark indicated, in 2014, there was a borrow article for $100,000 to begin the review of the facility, and then another $200,000 in 2017 to hopefully complete the review of the evaluation of the facility. And then, as indicated by Mark, there was almost $10 million, and obviously that was too much for me to juggle, too much that, for the rates to reflect in the rates, was going to increase the rates very significantly. So, I worked it through. The only thing I could think of is that we use about $750,000 of the surplus that's recently built up, only in the last 2 years, most of it. Yeah, it's 1.4 now, but almost, all but like 350,000 came from the last 2 years. So obviously the meters are working. So the committee voted to use about $750,000 of that retained earnings, if you will, from sewer towards the improvements, the upgrades. But I had to stick a stake in the ground and say, listen, this is what we can try to afford now, which is the $2 million, $2 million, $2 million. So basically, we're going to have a borrow authorization for $5,250,000 at town meeting. It's going to be a regular borrow, so it fits in here. But Mark, and he understands, he can't really spend more than that $2 million in each fiscal year. So he's kind of capped at that. And I think he's okay to work with that.
Yeah, I think that's a better approach, because when we looked at all the different improvements that are needed and started categorizing them, I think there's going to be, number one, some savings if we lump them together. So instead of saying we're going to improve this and we're going to do 5 doors and a new heater and a new electric service, you say we're going to do all the electrical work, and so you get one contractor who concentrates on that. So I think you'll see some savings in that, as well as giving us an opportunity to say, do we really need to do this project because, like I said, regulations change or we meet our permits. One of the other line items up there is what we call infiltration and inflow. Infiltration is water that seeps, when the groundwater table comes up, it seeps into our leaky pipes. And inflow is when you get a roof leader that's connected to the sewer. We had a problem where someone had a storm drain in their parking lot connected to the sewer. And so that's basically water that you're treating that you don't need to. So both the EPA and the DEP have a program now where we have to have a plan to remove it. And the $240,000 is a good number, but the other numbers are just guesses, because we don't really know until we finish that phase of the work what the actual numbers are going to be. But we do have, I'll give you an example, we normally run about 1.3 million gallons a day. Well, Monday we were running about 3 million gallons a day. And what was happening Monday? Everything was melting. So it's not people flushing their toilets, it's water getting in from somewhere else. It can be significant, and it's a little spike. It doesn't happen every day. And so right now what we have is we have flow meters out in our sewer system measuring the flow in different parts of town, and then we can say, well, Gary's neighborhood has a lot of II because his sump pump might be pumping into the system. So then we can narrow that down and say, let's do a more detailed investigation in this neighborhood. And once we get that, then we'll come up with a plan and a cost for some of the other improvements.
One of the reasons I started looking at only through 2020 is because by 2021, I think Mark will be able to reevaluate the need for any further improvements, for one thing. And then we can assess our capital needs against potential increases in revenues and reductions in operating costs. For example, one increase in revenue might be a connection with some kind of services with the town of Groton, which may be coming up. So that will increase revenues
I
too.
thought it was because you were going to retire.
Well, and the Devons, 2021 is when the Devons agreement
Right,
is
when the
up,
Devons
so we
agrees.
need to figure out what we want to do with
Right.
that.
And hopefully hopefully there'll be some savings in that.
Yeah. Depending on what we use, I mean, it might be necessary.
I think there will be some reason to have an agreement, but not to the extent that we have now.
So now I'm just going to do a quick review of water expenses. Water expenses increased about approximately $824,000, but before you fall off your chairs, most of that, $778,000, see where the capital purchase line is? Because we have built up the water retained earnings to 1.8, it's almost $1.9 million now. We are using, the committee voted to use the surplus to purchase the capital assets this year. So there won't be borrowing costs at all, but also so that we don't have to get into the borrowing impact for future years. And we're doing exactly what we say we're doing, because we voted before for the Grove Pond expansion $1 million and use $1 million of surplus. So we have gradual increases in rates, then we can afford to just buy things and there's no fluctuation, there's minimal fluctuation in rates. So that's the bulk of it right there. And that was a conscious decision by the rate committee
That makes sense.
to be true to what our goals are, basically. And then we have miscellaneous revenues. And same deal here. The reason why it's about $120,000 less is if you can see the prior year surplus consumption adjustment. I put that in there last year because we needed that consumption review, but that was my best guess at the impact of the model not being quite accurate. So I guesstimated that using how it had run for the last few years. And so that's the only reason there. The rest of it's all pretty much the same based on past history, like 5 years or so. So here we get the same summary. So we have miscellaneous revenues and the surplus, the water surplus. So we're using the surplus there to get to the net rates. And again, you can see in FY16, 1.5 million is what we were looking for, and we came up with 1.8. So we knew there was something going on. So the rate committee is proposing zero. Where do I go?
Back up.
Did I? 0% increase for water. Trying to give people a little bit of break here, since we can. And we'll be using $778,000 for the water retained earnings for, the capital. So we're recommending no rate increase for water. And then the next, sewer, we're recommending a 3.5% increase. I tried to get it as low as a 3% increase, but it was not doable with the new model. So, but this 3.5 is in line with what we projected in 2007 for 2017 when we were here last year. So it's in line. And considering the significant amount of capital improvements needed at the wastewater treatment plant, I think we did a pretty good job.
And I think you're projecting that similar in future years.
Yes.
Was there any significant loss with East Main Street before it was repaired? I mean,
With the
Could they tell?
sewer or water? No, we had actually the sewer was in pretty good shape. It's interesting. We've started TVing more sewers, and we don't have a lot of breaks in the sewers. Even though they're old, a lot of them are old clay sewers. We have a crack here and a crack there. Like Pleasant Street, we had 3 places we had to repair, and then we relined the whole thing, so it's good as new. Same with we did East Main Street and all the way down around Tannery, and I think we had probably 3 or 4 actual places we had to dig it up and fix it, but then relined everything. I think it's the manholes are what we're going to find are where most of the leakage is occurring.
So just because we always try to show this, I work with Pam, who she's like she said, the residential usage can be all over the place. I mean, people have different size families and so forth, but based on what she reviewed, it's about 1,000 cubic feet that that an average residence uses quarterly. And so this is the projected impact for an average bill. So $10 total in a year.
That's what, 4 cups of Dunkin' Donuts?
Yeah, I'm cutting back.
You could drink water instead.
It's
free.
So I don't think this has been updated since 2015. So I don't know how
I
realistic.
put our new rates in here, but the data that I had to compare other Massachusetts towns, they haven't done a survey since 2015.
Okay.
And actually, it's probably not FY 2015. It's the year 2015. But I would guess we're probably very similar. Where the air on the water side is a little bit under average, and on the sewer side is a little bit above average. But you can see, I think my town is the one way over on the right.
So, the rate committee.
We're MWR, but our rates were flat. We don't have steps, but combined water and sewer is over $20 100 cubic feet, and we're probably half that, 10.
So, this is our rate committee's recommendation to the water and sewer commissioners. We would like you to vote there is no increase for water, and the sewer increase at the proposed 3.5% increase. Do you need rates in front of you? Want me to go back to them?
We'll do it as two separate motions, just to be clear in the minutes. So I make a motion that the Board of Selectmen accept the recommended no increase to the water for FY18.
Second. Any more discussion? All in favor? Aye.
And I make a motion that the Board of Selectmen accept the water and sewer rate, proposed rate increase for sewer to 3.5% for FY18.
Second. A lot of work went into it, huh?
Just trying to figure out that
and
model.
I still don't understand the model.
I mean,
It's a pretty intense model.
You stay pretty consistent though, year to year.
And,
We try.
and I represented a lot of municipal water and sewer systems when I was a consultant, and a lot of towns don't go through this on a regular basis. They say, "Oh, it's time to raise rates," and they go up 25% instead of keeping. Looking at it every year and going in detail, having a model, and then all of a sudden they get hit with a big project and they have to bump the rates way up, and there's a lot of sticker shock.
Did you vote the sewer ones yet?
No.
Okay.
I had discussion.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
I don't know, I might say no. Aye.
Thanks, Gary. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
What happens when it's just the two of us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you both very much. Members of the board, just a brief administrative update. We are finalizing the budget, the FY18 budget, as well as the annual town meeting warrant. The board will receive a working draft of both of those by the end of this week, and it's relatively straightforward, and the plan is that on the 18th, your meeting on April 18th, is to approve the warrant. The warrant, as I mentioned, has to go to print by noon on April 21st, so if for some reason on the 18th there is a little bit of room for any adjustments. Also, the warrant closes at noon on April 14th. That's both for articles or citizens petitions. We're not aware of any citizens petition yet, but there still is time. So that's been the major focus. The administration has been with the budget and the warrant. The election, as the board is aware, is on Monday, April 24th. And in addition to the races, as the board is aware, the 4 debt exclusion questions are on the ballot. As mentioned, they have to pass the ballot, and they will have corresponding articles on the town meeting warrant for May 8th. Superintendent Wetzel is in the process of putting together some fact sheets for the 4 questions. In other words, what are the 4 projects? What do they entail? What is the average cost impact? These things we'll use both for social media, but also to get the word out there. We're also toying with doing also some other public information input on that. As the board is aware, we can't use public funds or so forth for advocacy positions to vote yes or to vote no, but we can do our best to make sure everybody is aware of what these 4 important projects are, what their actual cost impact will be, and the implications if they don't pass. So we will continue to focus on that there. I also just wanted to mention publicly, again, to thank the DPW, specifically Superintendent Wetzel and the town engineer, Dan Van Scalwick, for securing that $500,000 grant for the small bridges. I know the board has been very supportive of that, and the superintendent went to get the check at the State House last week. So
This picture's nice.
yeah, it was nice.
He's all
Yes. So that was, I know they put a lot of work into that, as has the Capital Planning Committee. That is question 1 on the ballot, is the West Main Street Bridge replacement. It would have cost $1.7 million, but with at least the grant, it's $1.2 million. I don't say that lightly, but it is a considerable grant. We also got word today from the Montechusett Regional Planning Commission that Mr. Minoyan's grant application to do a study of the Park Street corridor, in other words, the streetscape and everything, which will tie in nicely with the project that's underway, was awarded favorably on that grant. So looking forward to moving forward with that. We just found that out. So I know the board knows that the town, and specifically our department heads, are very successful in securing grants when we can.
Because we've known that when we said.
Oh, yeah. So, again, main focus has been on the budget in the town meeting. The first action item in your packet is a reserve fund transfer request, and also, as the board is aware, in positive news, the Finance Committee now has a quorum. The 3rd member was recently appointed. There are still 2 openings, and we're looking for folks that are interested in serving on that. But there is a reserve fund transfer for the Veterans Department. Excuse me. There's a shortfall in the Chapter 115 Veteran Benefits Funds, and the requested amount for the reserve fund transfer is $26,000, and this will be to cover the May and June veterans benefits. And the increase in the benefits was unforeseen by the Veterans Commissioner when the budget was designed. So I'd be respectfully looking for a vote to approve the Veterans Department RFT for the amount of $26,000.
Okay, Robert, I have the 2 of the same. Yeah.
Oh, that's the next. That's going to be the building department.
2.
No, the 2 are the same.
Oh, I have the original here for you.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right.
Yeah.
Sorry. Shoot.
All right. I make a motion that the Board of Selectmen approve the reserve fund transfer in the amount of $26,000 to be transferred to Veterans Benefits, account 01547531170, as indicated in the packet.
Second. All in favor? Aye.
Oh, it's in the French here. Oh, aye.
Okay, thank you. The next 2 items are very quickly, unfortunately, Miss Antonellis had a family member that had a medical situation. She put these two reports together for the board, but couldn't be here. The first one is, as we've been discussing for some time, but came up at the last meeting, is the whole bylaw review process. And as the board is aware, committee was been appointed to do that work. Selectman Livingston, this town clerk, Ms. Copeland, myself, Ms. Antonellis, and the chief of police started with that with Muni Code. We've now reconstituted that effort. One of the things that we're recommending that the board consider, and I'll pass these out, is that the challenge, and Ayer's not alone on this, it is not a reflection of anyone, but the bylaws are a disaster in terms of the numbering, in terms of the conflict. We all know this. So in the interest of time, what we're recommending is this company, General Code, and this is the information here. They work with Copeland and Page quite a bit and other groups. What we're recommending is that the town work with them to completely codify all of the bylaws. In other words, a whole numerical, they do all of the numbering, they do the full legal review of your current bylaws. So in other words, a bylaw or traffic regulation of 1936 may be in conflict with the bylaw from they do all of that analysis. And so what we're recommending is that the committee work with this group, do that analysis. It will culminate in a final completed product, if you will, so everybody can see exactly what they recommend. Mm-hmm. And then the board, and through the committee, will be able to decide how to proceed with the implementation, because it's going to take an active town meeting. And in talking with them, Ayer's not alone on this. They do this quite a bit. So at the conclusion of this process, it could pretty much be all implemented through one town meeting. Now, there is a cost to that, to do the update. Is a $20,000 to do that's all of the bylaws, all of the traffic regulations, and the board remembers Chief Murray, the traffic regulations of a copy of the newspaper article that you'll see. We're recommending that the board considers for town meeting an article to fund it, but in the end, they will do all of the research, all of the organization, all of the legal analysis, incorporate all the changes, work with us on the adoption, and we could complete this project in a timely manner, which I think would be the benefit of everybody, because all of us who have gone into the bylaws, it is a disaster.
Right.
And it's just, it goes back to...
sense.
Yeah, so that's the update. There's some more information on here.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the goal would be if town meeting agrees on the funding, and then we would reconvene the group I mentioned to work with them, and we would put together a whole schedule and plan, and let's get this done.
Great.
So that's the brief update on that. The second one is the recreational marijuana update. When I was away, Carly had set up a meeting with the MRPC. We met today, Representative Glenn Eaton from the MRPC, Alan Manoyan, Sue Kennedy from the Planning Board, and as Mr. Fay mentioned, he happened to pop in and join us. The takeaway on the issue of the recreational marijuana is everybody agrees that we need to be prepared for the fall town meeting, which is October, to do whatever we're going to decide to do. And I mean, the options are, do we do a moratorium? Do we do zoning? What happened? I impressed upon Mr. Fay, Ms. Kennedy from the Planning Board, and I know that the Board of Selectmen is on board, as is the Board of Health. You can all agree it's now April, so from now until, let's say, the middle of August, we need to figure out what we're going to do. And I think part of that also involves some public outreach to get some input from the public as to what people are interested in doing. So I don't have as detailed update yet. I know Carly has some more information, but I think the takeaways as we begin to shape this is we have to do something for the fall town meeting. Town meeting will decide ultimately, but we need to figure out what's the best thing to do. Everybody is in a similar boat in the sense that a lot of the towns are looking to do it by the fall, so we can do something on that. So that's where we are with that.
Okay.
The last item that I have, and I passed out to the board, is a reserve fund transfer from the building department in the amount of $42,404.40. Currently in the budget, there's $27,568 is the present balance. As the Board of Selectmen are aware, the town recently condemned 2 properties in town, and as part of that, both condemnation orders, which were supported by the court, in support of those court orders, both properties had to be boarded and secured. Also, as the court order, the exterior debris at both properties needs to be removed. So this reserve fund transfer from the building commissioner would be to cover those costs. The only caveat is that in the case of one of the properties at 128 Washington is currently in foreclosure. The bank was going to board and secure it, and that was $4,778, and we believe we'll recoup that from the bank because we did what the bank was going to do. But in order to pay this, it was unforeseen, obviously, when the budget was done. It was also an emergency matter done in the interest of public health and public safety. I'm respectfully requesting your approval of the RFT for $42,404.40.
First of all, on behalf of some of the neighbors, we're very happy now.
Okay.
And I
Yeah,
saw
I got some positive feedback.
Yeah, and I saw the dumpster up there today, so some very happy people. Okay. So, I make a motion that the Board of Selectmen approve the reserve fund transfer request in the amount of $42,404.40 to be transferred to account name Building Inspection, account number 01241-52000, as presented in the packet by the town administrator.
Second. Any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Okay.
And that will complete my report for this evening. Thank you both.
Welcome. Any selectmen questions? Janice? Comments or anything? No? I keep forgetting to bring this up, but there's the solar field, the new one behind my house. All the covering off the fences came off
Okay.
during the windstorm a couple weeks. So now it's completely in view where it was blocked before. So I've had a few people mention it.
Okay.
I don't know what could be seen or not seen on the other side of it.
Yeah.
From the rail trail, I have no idea. But
We will
yeah.
follow up with them. Okay.
There was some pretty bad wind we had.
Yeah.
Yeah, took down my flag.
All right. So we just got minutes.
Okay. I make a motion that the Board of Selectmen approve the meeting minutes from the March 23rd, 2017 Board of Selectmen meeting.
Second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Do you want to adjourn or you want to hang around for some more?
No. Let's all sing. Let's just have a good time. All right, everybody. I make a motion that we adjourn. Good night.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.